on a matter of utmost importance.
Please, the voice on the message gasped. I need your help. It's life or death.
I was making coffee when I heard the message, and I confess it didn't make me pause. I didn't know at that point that the old lady had passed 3 days before, but I've been in the business long enough to know that life or death rarely is. I'm an animal behaviorist, almost, not a cardiologist or brain surgeon, which means I work with people's pets rather than anything they really care about. Used to be I'd spend my time trying to understand why domesticated animals did what they did. If Spot's pooping on the floor, you know he's got a reason. Same as you would. What the clients pay me for, though, isn't an explanation. It's behavior modification. They want the behavior changed, and my job is to change it. I've gotten used to that. Hey, it beats watching Spot taken to the pound, or worse, released by the roadside miles out of town, as they still do in my semi-rural burg. I developed a repertoire of training tricks, re-education, if you will, to help everyone adjust. My refusal to pick up the phone before 9 a.m. is an attempt to use the same techniques on the owners. It rarely works, but it's the principle as much as anything. Besides, I knew I'd be no good before I had my caffeine. In addition, while I was grinding the beans, Wallace had come into the room, and serving her breakfast trumps everything. And so while the coffee was brewing, I cracked open 2 eggs and scrambled them in butter. She needed the flour in anticipation, and so I didn't even wait for them to cool before scooping them up onto a plate and placing them on the floor. Wallace may be a cat, a mature tabby who had shared the last 12 years of her life with me, but she has more sense than most humans. If I had to talk down some hysterical would-be client, I wanted her in the room and in the mood to consult. Besides, I cared about her happiness. The caller? Well, we'd see about that. Jane? Jane Larkin, this is Prue Marlowe, returning your call. I'd taken my mug over to the big farmhouse table that serves as the general workspace. You said you had a problem. From the stuttering on the other end, I thought she'd forgotten me already. That was fine. I didn't need another client, especially not one who indulged in histrionics.
Oh, Miss Marlowe, thank you.
She had someone else in the room, I realized. I raised my eyebrows to Wallace, who started to bathe.
Things are just so crazy here.
I looked at the clock, 9:05. Late enough for me to begin my morning rounds. I can call you back later.
No, please. Can you come over today? Vet at the county animal hospital said you were a miracle worker, and I need, could you just come over?
I heard a deep sigh.
I've got a real problem with a very aggravated parrot.
I still hadn't heard how an angry bird translated to life or death, but I agreed to head over once I was done with my regular visits. She'd given me an address on the new side of Beauville, the complex called Live Well. I knew that euphemistic tag meant it was for old people. So I was rather surprised to find the array of activities listed in beige and pink in the front lobby. Movie nights, field trips, what have you. All on a billboard crowned with a stylized LW that would do minor royalty proud. And I was even more shocked when, once I'd smiled and nodded my way past the similarly colored receptionist, the door marked 203, along with that same logo, opened. Jane? The woman in front of me couldn't have been more than 50. A very tired 50. Before she could respond, I heard a voice yell out behind her.
Who the hell is it?
The woman at the door winced.
I'm sorry, the woman whispered. You can hear why I called.
She led me in.
Mind your own damn business.
The room was overheated and dark, heavy shades covering the big picture window. I remember how distracted she'd been that morning and dreaded meeting her companion.
Bugger off.
I just got here,
my host said, walked to the window. When she pulled back the drape, I saw that the room was closed for a reason. Small to start with, the studio was overstuffed. Boxes, some taped shut, were stacked against the empty bookshelves, and more lay waiting to be assembled on what looked like a hospital bed. Photos had been taken down, showing lighter spots against the deep cream wall. Some were piled on top of the mini fridge, and more lay on a small tabletop, threatening to tumble.
Your own damn business.
The woman winced again, and I turned toward the voice. In the corner Suspended from a frame hung a huge bird cage. Inside the cage, a large gray bird shuffled on his perch, turned his head, and seemed to appraise me with a cool eye. An African gray, known for their skills at mimicry and their longevity. In some circles, they're also known for their intelligence.
And who the hell are you?
He asked me, punctuating his question with a squawk.
The cleaning lady?